host you in our home for MHP. And we're very excited to have you all here. As part of welcoming you, I've been asked to tell you about my relationship to MHP. This year I'm chairing the board, and it's a wonderful board that we have. Maybe you could raise your hands, everybody who's on the board, because we have a very active and wonderful board. And it's full of a lot of really dedicated, marvelous folks, as well as the MHP staff, and you should come forward as well. MHP does a lot of tremendously good work. I came to MHP through my partner, Lois Freed, and she had served on the board for 6 years and told me how important it was as a way of giving back to our community. So that is my immediate connection to MHP, and I'm very pleased to be of service in any way possible. So with that, I'd like to welcome Rob to get this started.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Appreciate you all coming. And special thank you to Vicki Davis and Jimmy Jones for offering their wonderful home so graciously tonight. So really appreciate that. Also want to thank Lieutenant Governor and Catherine Leggitt for being our co-host today. Really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Also want to recognize a few people here. First of all, I want to recognize Council Member Terry Siemens from the City of Tacoma Park, and as well as Rick Nelson, who's the head of the Department of Housing and Community Affairs, who carries out Ike Leggett's vision for affordable housing and does a great job at it. And I do want to say Ike could not come tonight. He had other things. But he is a huge supporter of affordable housing. Montgomery County is very fortunate to have a real leader in affordable housing in Ike Leggitt. He made it his top priority. He has created an acquisition fund for affordable housing. He has funded the Housing Initiative Fund, and we can't be more pleased than have such a leader in affordable housing as Ike Leggitt. So really appreciate that. So, I think everyone, and well, the other thing I want to recognize, Vicki took me to the punch, but I do want to recognize my staff. They do a great job. The reason we're successful at MHP is because of my wonderful staff. So I can't thank them enough. And especially I want to thank Devin and Lisa, who helped organize this event tonight, as well as the many other people on staff who helped. As many of you know, I like to tell stories, and really, the work we do is about impacting people's lives, and I like to say every day we're impacting somebody's life, and that can't be more true than what I just actually learned today. There's a little girl, 8 years old, who lives in Montgomery County. Her parents, she's a wonderful child. Her parents, are very fortunate to have such a wonderful child. I have a daughter. I can relate to the 8-year-old stage. I'm not sure about how the teenage age is going to be, but there's nothing better than the 8-year-old daughter. And unfortunately, they got some terrible news recently that their daughter had some form of brain cancer, and the doctors have done surgery and radiation. But the impact of that is that she's been paralyzed, and she needs to she now lives in a third-floor apartment, but she now needs to live in an accessible, affordable place to live. We learned about this situation and literally yesterday, and my staff's been working around the clock to try to find some available place for her to live, because at the end of the day, the parents have so much that they have to worry about. And the last thing they need to worry about is where to live and how they can kind of continue to have an affordable, decent place for the daughter and for them. So, this is really, about what MHP is about. And this is why I say to all of you, what this night is about is to thank you all for the work and the support you have given MHP. MHP can't do it without all of your support. And so it's because of you that we're able to respond to situations like that and help families out like that. in this past year, we have sort of been thinking about the challenges that we face in Montgomery County and realized that we needed to do more. And we have given ourselves a challenge of trying to do 1,200 homes in Montgomery County in the next 5 years. And to do that, we realized we needed to reach out to as many people as possible. And so we sort of kicked off our Building Dreams effort. And through that effort, we have done over 20 tours, showcased our work to over 200 people. And also want to thank, as part of that, the many ambassadors, the people who have, many of you who have said, I love MHP, I'm going to tell my friends about the work that MHP is doing, bring them to the tour, showcase MHP's work, and so I really appreciate that. We have, all of you, some of you have been longtime supporters of MHP, have been with us for a long time, and there's a huge debt of gratitude for all of you, as well as some of you this year may have come to a tour or may have come to our breakfast and just been inspired by the work we do, and as a result decided to support our effort. Our breakfast on October 23rd, many of you were there, was a huge success. We had over 220 people. We raised in cash and pledges for our 5-year effort $392,000, so it's a huge success, and I can only thank you guys for that wonderful success. And at that breakfast, you heard wonderful stories. You got to hear the story of Francis Ballard. You got to hear the story of Mike Withers. But you got to meet a wonderful gentleman, Kirk Rowland, who is a veteran from the Iraq War. As he told that his story so passionately about his struggles coming back and transitioning back to the United States, and what a struggle that was, and how he really, until he was able to move into a property, at MHP's property, it was the first time he really got some stability in his life and was able to then start to do other things. And now he's at Montgomery College. He's wants to be a social worker, and he wants to give back to other veterans coming back from the war and help them with the transition that was so tough for him. So, this has been a, wonderful effort. A number of people who were table captains, I also want to thank you for that. But that, and so, what have MHP done? Since that breakfast, we've had some wonderful accomplishments and successes. We bought our first property in the city of Gaithersburg. I appreciate the support that Rick gave to us for that effort. We, together with Elm Street Development, I don't know where David went, but we closed and purchased a piece of property from the county that's going to provide 114 wonderful homes in a mixed-income community in Olney, Maryland. We also just closed last month, thanks to the state and the county's help, on a construction and permanent financing in Parkview Towers. We also collected over 1,800 toys and books for kids during the holidays. Over 700 kids got toys and books, and it was a wonderful effort to be able to do that. But the need is still there, right? And there's still more people who are on the waiting list for our community life programs. There's still, as we do this effort of doing 1,200 homes, we're going to need to expand our community life effort and expand our neighborhood effort. And so we're kicking off for our second year our Building Dreams effort. And as supporters or members of our close family, I think the best and single most important thing somebody could do today is just tell your friends. Tell them about the work we do. Sign up to be an ambassador. Help us be a champion of MHP's. Invite people to come to tours. That's what is the most important thing as we try to do all the work that we're trying to do. A lot of people sort of ask me, when I'm doing this, like, okay, I made this wonderful donation. What is the impact that my money did? What is the concrete result of my money? And I can tell you, as I have, all the wonderful things that MHP has done. But I thought to myself, what can I show you, the most tangible thing I can show you to show that what your impact has been? And so as your money helped, one of the things it did was to help expand our community life programs. And to do that, we had to hire our newest site coordinator, Connie. And so I thought the best way I can show you the impact of your work is to introduce you to Connie, bring her here, have her say a few words. Connie has a wonderful success story of her own that she's going to share with us. So thanks, Connie.
Well, my name is Connie Brizuela, and when I was about 7 years old, my mother, single mother, moved into, we lived in PG County, and you know, she really didn't like where we were living at, so she was just like, you know what, I think we should move, and she started looking at different places, and she found housing in Amherst and Pembridge, and you know, we moved in, and she heard some of our neighbors talking about the programs. They were like, you know, your daughter should go, they should join after school programs, they're very helpful, you know. So my mom was looking into them, and then she saw that I have a disability, I have dyslexia. So she was like, okay, Connie needs to, she needs to go after school, and you know, she needs extra help and everything, but you know, as a single mother, she had to work, and so she put us in the programs, me and my sister, and you know, we started going to the programs. We were there for, well, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade year, you know, they didn't have teen programs at the time. So what I did, I wanted to stay there, and I wanted to continue doing my homework, but I also wanted to help the children. So, you know, I did volunteering, and then, sorry, I got a little nervous. So I did volunteering, and after that, Sulema, my site director, she told me, she was like, oh, you know, there's an open space for AmeriCorps if you want to do an internship. And I said, yes, of course, you know, because I really wanted to stay with MHP. So what I did, I stayed, and I did 2 years of AmeriCorps. And then, you know, after that, I started getting more involved, and I started doing preschool programs for the children, and then I did after-school programs. And then after my 2 years were done, she was just like, oh, you want to be a site coordinator? And I said, of course, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have my own site. So she gave me my own site, and now I have my own site. And I have 20 children after school. And, you know, it's been a long journey. And, you know, I started since I was 7, now I'm 22. And, you know, I continue with the MHP family, and I want to continue. I want to grow more. You know, I want to get somewhere, and I want to impact lives just like the teachers impacted my life. So.
So that's what your support of MHP has done, and that's the impact you have on people's lives. I want to also introduce a special person, somebody who we've heard about. I mentioned the great work that Ike Leggitt does, but you know, a successful businesswoman in her own right, Catherine Leggitt. She's been a huge supporter of MHP. We had, many of you are familiar with our 20-year anniversary that we had 4 years ago, and Catherine Leggitt was our co-chair, and she came to many a reception like this and really championed the cause of affordable housing in MHP. So she's a wonderful person, and I'd like to welcome Catherine Leggitt.
Thank you. I want to say hello to all of you, and most importantly, I want to bring regards from Ike. Affordable housing, as you know, is really important to our county executive. Many of you may or may not know he was born and raised in Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana, and he lived in a shotgun house. And if you know what a shotgun is, it just means like you can take a shotgun and go straight through the house. He had 13 brothers and sisters living in the house, and he knows how important a home is, and so does his wife. I know how important a home is, and I know how important the work is that MHS does. Affordable housing, Montgomery Housing Partnership is so important. I was born and raised in Mount Vernon, New York, which is right outside the Bronx. I was the first person to be encouraged to go to college. However, our housing was very, very problematic. I can remember studying in front of an oven for heat. I know the value of a home. I know the value of being able to know that when you leave the schoolhouse, you're going to go someplace where you can feel comfortable, where you can be safe, and that you can study. And so it's very personal to me. This is a very personal issue to me. And the work that is done here each and every day is so invaluable. It's so important. And so I and Ike want to thank you for helping, for being a part of this initiative for affordable housing. And Rick can tell you that this organization is the #1 partnership of Montgomery County. This housing partnership is making a difference in the lives of so many people. I mean, our housing was, like I said, problematic, and I can go into lots of detail, but trust me when I say that oven was really important, and knowing that I was going to come home to a home was really invaluable. I went on to go to college, I went on to go to law school, but the house, the home, was the foundation. And then, of course, I met Ike Leggitt in law school. He was my professor, so that was really good. But in all seriousness, thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for your commitment. And know that it makes a difference in the lives of many. And you may not even know where your dollars actually are going to go, but to know that you have a home and it is affordable is really important. So keep doing what you're doing. Rick thanks you, Ike thanks you, and our Lieutenant Governor thanks you. You know, Montgomery County and the state have an invaluable relationship. We are partners, we are on the same page, and we work very collaboratively with Lieutenant Governor Brown. Now, he in his own right is what I would say a good man, committed to doing the right things in our state. He is strategic and he is tactical. He is caring and he is pragmatic. He is a wonderful supporter of affordable housing. And thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting us. And without further ado, maybe I'll just say, please come on up.
Thank you very much. And let me start by thanking Vicki and Jimmy for opening up your home and hosting this circle of builders. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, your commitment to Montgomery Housing Partnership. Vicki and Jimmy made it a family affair. I understand Vicki's mom just came in. Yes, indeed. And so thanks for making this possible. It's great to be here. I want to thank Rick as well, and for your partnership with Ray and his team at the Department of Housing and Community Development. Connie, let me say I also get nervous still when I speak, and I get nervous most when I follow passionate speakers like you and Catherine Leggitt. Because you're tough acts to follow. But thank you very much for sharing your experience and sharing with us what you're now doing with MHP. We really appreciate it. There are a lot of wonderful affordable housing developers and managers and owners throughout the state of Maryland, but none of them do it quite like MHP. And with the community life programs, which that's you and what you're doing, whether it's the green initiatives, the individual development accounts. So Rob, I commend you and your staff for really elevating MHP above your peers in what you do in the state of Maryland, and it's great to be a partner with you. I believe, as I know Catherine and Ike Leggitt do, that strong communities are built and they're not born. And strong communities are built on the foundation of families who are secure in their homes. For some, not a heavy lift, but for others, it takes a lifetime just to get there. And Catherine shared her story. Each of us has perhaps a different story. But I'm really proud of Ike, because I know 7 years ago when the governor and I were running for office and we were articulating policies that we wanted to pursue, one in the area of affordable housing was to create an affordable housing fund, and that Ike, under his leadership, is successfully managing and utilizing the acquisition fund, and what that means for MHP, other affordable housing developers. It's a real commitment, and it's vision, it's foresight on the part of your county executive, your husband, our county executive. So please tell Ike that we really appreciate his partnership and what he's doing in affordable housing. Maryland's a great state. I dare say it's the best state in the union, in large part because of the greatness that is Montgomery County. And Montgomery County is great for many reasons. Great schools. The county executive likes to call it the crown jewel of Montgomery County, and it is. And it's one of, if not the finest, public K-12 systems in not only the state, but the country. The things that Montgomery County is doing in the areas of public health and public safety. Montgomery County is a great county, and Maryland's a great state. Together we've done so many great things in the last 6-7 years, even more than that. But I point out 6 or 7 years for two reasons. One is because it's under the O'Malley Brown leadership, and we want to take credit for everything that's good. But the other, and like anyone needs a reminder, I mean, there's been 6 tough years of recession and a very protracted recovery. Yet together, you know, we built the best in the nation public schools. We made college more affordable, expanded health care to more and more Marylanders, half of whom, almost 400,000 Marylanders, half of whom children living in low-income families. We're cleaning the environment. We've driven crime down in every county around the state, both at the county level here and at the state. AAA bond rating, which is the gold shield for fiscal responsibility and public finances. So Maryland's a great state. Montgomery County is helping us achieve that greatness. But I think Maryland can be better. And we can do that by building on our successes. That includes continuing to invest in education, improving health care. But it also includes investing in and modernizing our infrastructure. And that infrastructure, whether it's roads and bridges or rail, like the Purple Line, or whether it's broadband or clean water or wastewater, so that River Road is actually a road and not a river, or whether it's affordable housing. That's an important part of infrastructure, ensuring that in growing communities and growing economies, families have adequate options to choose the housing that best accommodates their families. So housing and affordable housing is an essential part of infrastructure. And we believe in investing in infrastructure. And that's why this year, thanks in large part to the Maryland Affordable Housing Coalition, which MHP is an active member of, we've got $25 million in our budget this year for the Rental Housing Works program. I should say that half the battle is putting it in the governor's budget. The other half is keeping it in. I'm about to share with you this point, not to scare anybody, but perhaps to elevate the sense of urgency and invite you to Annapolis. The Department of Legislative Services has recommended to cut that program. Half the battle is putting it in the budget, the other half is keeping in the budget. So I certainly encourage you to come to Annapolis, engage the members of the General Assembly to make sure that we can stay as close to that $25 million as originally proposed in the governor's budget. So Maryland's great. We've had some successes. We can be greater. We will be. We'll invest in infrastructure, including affordable housing. But we need great partners like MHP. And that's why I'm proud that during the last 6 years we have invested almost $10 million, I think a little more than $10 million in at least 4 of your projects, which has enabled you to leverage multiples more than $10 million in order to deliver the outstanding affordable housing options that you have. So we continue to look for partnerships, and we will continue to partner with MHP going into the future. But let me just close with kind of where I started, which is by thanking each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for your commitment to affordable housing, and thank you for everything that you've done to make Maryland and Montgomery County a great place in which to live, work, and play. So you can count on me to be a partner in the years ahead. Thanks a lot.
Great, appreciate your remarks, Lieutenant Governor, and just to sort of reiterate that, you know, the O'Malley Brown administration has been a huge supporter of affordable housing, just creating the Rental Housing Works program. It is the envy of all my friends in other states that, you know, Maryland has taken that huge initiative and realized the value that housing creates jobs. So we're not just providing somebody a place to live, but we're also creating jobs. And during this economy, that's something that's very important. So appreciate all your support. And first time I met the Lieutenant Governor, he brought together a lot of folks around the table in Maryland to developing affordable housing. What I was impressed was that he saw the real need and value of having the nonprofit sector at the table as well as the for-profit sector. So I appreciate that, and thank you. You know, you heard a lot about tonight about, and you've been part in this past year about our Building Dreams effort, and so tonight has been about thanking people. And when we started this initiative a year ago, and we said, you know, we have a huge task in front of us, and we really realized the need to bring people together. There was sort of one person who really stepped up to the challenge. She was our board chair, and recognized she needed to do more in trying to get the board together around this initiative. And so I have a special thank you and a little something to give to Rhonda Cunningham Holmes for her support and leadership.
Well, I want to say thank you, first of all, and I certainly was not expecting this, and certainly need to share it with everybody here, because when I took the lead over from Stacy, who I see has entered, and she supported it, and I had an opportunity to support it. I had a lot of people on the board who came behind me, and I called on Catherine, and she has always been willing to say yes to me to assist in supporting us in these efforts. And so we know that the county's behind us, we know that all of you are behind us, and I know that as we move forward, and the challenge is just even greater as we move forward, that it's going to be important that we all remain involved and continue to support the county and continue to support MHP especially, so that we can do bigger and better things, and that we can meet those strategic goals that we had established about 5 years ago, about 3 years ago now. Thank you.
So with that, I get to close this evening. Thank you all so very much for coming. There's a lot of food, a lot of drink. Please help yourselves. Welcome. Feel free to mill about and stay as long as you like.